Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel. Today we are going to talk some Chelsea news, of course, with you guys. International break means there's no football to talk about. However, April is a blockbuster for Chelsea Football Club. We have got 8 matches. The Man United game's been postponed because they got into the Europa League. This is the time to subscribe to this YouTube channel so that you don't miss any of the content in the penultimate month of the season. And also, whilst you're there, if you do enjoy these news videos, hit the like button today. We're talking Mateo Kovacic. We're talking about whether or not his current form should mean that Chelsea are looking to extend his contract, or do we cash in? The reasons we might cash in is, well, A, some people think that Kovacic isn't good enough, isn't the kind of midfielder we need, and B, Chelsea are in financial trouble. Oh no, we knew this was coming, didn't we? However, to begin here, Chelsea are ready to battle the Premier League over a potential breach of spending rules, with the Blues ready to cite the collapse of contract negotiations with Rudiger as a potential loss of income if charged with breaching profit and sustainability rules. Now, with all Premier League clubs over a 3-year cycle, the average amount of losses that are allowed are a maximum of £105 million per year. So with Chelsea once again now registering that we made a loss far significant to 105 million, the issues regarding FFP for Chelsea have now arisen. This does not include the £600 million that we have spent in the last 2 transfer windows under the new ownership of Todd Boehly. Just to make that clear, a lot of people have been jumping on it saying this is all Boehly's fault because Todd Boehly's come in and he's just spent hundreds of millions on some players who aren't good enough, and now look at the mess we're in. Chelsea are willing to go into these potential breaches with the Premier League by saying, basically, because of the sanctions that were placed upon the club when Roman Abramovich was still in charge, which obviously then led to the sale of Chelsea Football Club, because Chelsea couldn't negotiate contracts with players, which then saw the likes of Rudiger, Christensen go away for free last summer. When you look at just how amazing Christensen's been at Barcelona, the fact that Chelsea let those 2 go is still playing on my mind every single day. Well, not every single day because I've had a beautiful little holiday during this international break, but it is unforgivable, really, that Chelsea even allowed this to happen. So at the moment, Chelsea not just dealing with these FFP issues, but it can also lead us to really look further ahead. And if Todd Boehly is looking at these potential problems with FFP and the Premier League, this could, again, in the future lead into something with UEFA during the European competitions with their financial fair play regulations. Could this put Boehly off spending big at Chelsea in the summer? And it's not necessarily about being scared and hoping we don't get caught. Look at Manchester City. They've gone and been caught with the way that they've done certain things behind the scenes with their books. Chelsea don't want to go down that path. At the end of the day, the sanctions that were placed upon the club certainly didn't help matters last year when the whole war started between Russia and Ukraine. Abramovich obviously then was sanctioned. This impacts Chelsea Football Club, and when you look at the fact that we weren't able to negotiate new contracts with Rudiger, he ends up leaving for free. Chelsea will probably have some grounds here, but at the same time, when we look further forward and all that money we've spent now, the losses just get bigger and bigger and bigger. Chelsea need Champions League football. It is getting to that point now where we can't just talk about excitement about transfers. We've got to be realistic, and spending hundreds of millions every transfer window and expecting it not to come back and bite you, it's not sustainable. And that is what FFP is brought in to do, to make sure that across the board, clubs can operate in a financial manner sustainably. So, would it be a sustainable idea for Chelsea Football Club this summer to sell Mateo Kovacic? Now then, Mateo Kovacic has not yet signed a new deal at Chelsea. Scored twice yesterday for Croatia, scored against Leicester, and Kovacic has been a performer who this season has come under a lot of scrutiny. And I think I've said this before about Kovacic. I think when it comes to technical ability on the pitch for Chelsea, Kovacic is up there as one of the most gifted technical players at the club. However, due to the lack of goals, the lack of assists. When Chelsea is struggling, it's very easy to pinpoint Mateo Kovacic as being one of those players on the field who doesn't offer and contribute enough in order to be able to resolve the issues such as scoring goals, making chances and goals. Kovacic is not that player. However, there are periods of time, patches of form that Kovacic goes in where he is incredibly useful, where he does get himself in the box, scoring goals like he did against Leicester, scoring 2 for Croatia last night. So, as well as that, there's also the conversation regarding leadership. Chelsea sold Jorginho to Arsenal in January. Arsenal, champions-elect for the Premier League this season. So far, they deserve it above all else, and I think they will go ahead and win it. So, Chelsea have sold one of the leaders in our team to one of our rivals. And I know I've been saying Jorginho is past it for a long time. Yes, I firmly believe that. I don't think Graham Potter is the man to unlock the best out of Jorginho. Mikel Arteta so far, we've seen a mixed bag, but that goal against Aston Villa kind of papers over some of the performance cracks that Jorginho has shown since he signed for Arsenal. Chelsea need to be careful that we don't just go out and lose all of the leaders in this team. Mason Mount, I would say, has also built himself into a leadership role at the club due to his ever-present nature prior to the past month where he's not played any football. Mount was playing game after game after game. Naturally, that makes you one of the players, the more senior players in the dressing room, regardless of your age and overall footballing appearances in your career. So Chelsea need to be careful, and in my opinion, between now and the end of the season, if Kovacic continues to play the way that he's been playing in the last month or so, I think Chelsea would be foolish to sell Mateo Kovacic, particularly to Manchester City. We've got to be careful here that clubs like Arsenal and Man City, they have been waiting for this kind of moment. Man City, it's been going like that for some time. With Arsenal, it went down a little bit, and now Arteta was given the time, and now he can pinpoint a Jorginho back up in the central midfield. Trossard, a ready-made winger to come in, ahead of Mudryk, who clearly isn't yet a ready-made Premier League winger. Arsenal, they are shrewd right now in the transfer market. Man City as well. They bring in the players they need. And if Pep Guardiola wants Mateo Kovacic, best believe, whoever comes in the midfield, Chelsea have still got more catching up to do to Man City, because if Pep wants him, considering he's only got 16 months left on his contract, Chelsea have got to be careful here. And bringing up the FFP issues that we discussed earlier, between now and the 30th of June, Chelsea need to make player sales. So there is a whole host, a massive list of players who Chelsea may be looking to offload. At the moment, the rumours are Chelsea want 50 million for Mason Mount. Callum Hudson-Odoi probably going to be sold. Ziyech probably going to be sold. Pulisic potentially sold. Kai Havertz potentially sold. So many players could potentially be going out the door. Yes, we need players to leave because we've got a bloated squad. It's too big of a squad. Graham Potter needs to narrow down the amount of players we're using. But Kovacic, to sell him to Man City, or even Thomas Tuchel at Bayern Munich, I'm not a fan of this. I think Kovacic between now and the end of the season could be a key player for Chelsea, particularly as well against Real Madrid, where that midfield is getting on a little bit. We need to get at them, as well as Danny Carvajal right back. Chelsea need to look and try and pinpoint those Real Madrid weaknesses. I can't believe this game is only 2 weeks away. I'm absolutely buzzing for it. We move to discuss Julian Nagelsmann has admirers at Chelsea. The Blues have had an upturn in results recently, but any further negativity between now and the end of the season could leave the owners with a decision to make. At the moment, Julian Nagelsmann doesn't look as though he is going to be jumping straight in to another job. Stellini, Conte's right-hand man, I guess you could say. He's taken over at Spurs permanently. Well, I say permanently, until the end of the season, but he will be the first team coach there. So that means, come the end of this season, Spurs will be looking for a head coach. Chelsea, depending on what happens between now and the end of the season, could also still be looking for a head coach. So, come the summer, could it be Tottenham versus Chelsea for Julian Nagelsmann? At the minute, he just wants to let everything sit. He wasn't expecting to be fired by Bayern Munich, so he's not in an immediate rush to go into another job. I also want to make it very clear here on the channel that just because the result before this international break was negative and I'm discussing the idea that Nagelsmann goes to Chelsea, it doesn't mean that I'm fueling the Potter out brigade, okay? I made it clear I didn't think Potter was the right man for the job. Results upturned, 3 wins and a draw in the last 4 games is significantly better to the dross that we witnessed before. We've got Real Madrid in the Champions League. If that is a whitewash and Premier League form, we don't see an up curve where Chelsea move from 10th, significantly higher up the table, then Chelsea should be looking at a different manager in the summer. It is as simple as that in my opinion. And if Julian Nagelsmann is available and would be open to it, then Chelsea, in my opinion, I think will probably give Potter another pre-season. Sometimes you just cannot turn your nose up at potential opportunities. So let's see what we do against Real Madrid. Let's see what we do between now and the end of the season. Yes, we've been better in recent weeks before this international break, but we need to build on that. We need to continue, and Chelsea are playing again in a couple of days' time at home to Aston Villa. So stay tuned to GBFC. There might be another couple of news videos before the preview that will be going out on Friday. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts today on all of the news videos mentioned. All of the news videos? Let me know your thoughts on all the news stories mentioned in today's video. Hit the like button if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you are new. Come on, you Blues.